It is that time of year again, and I'm not saying that because Christmas is coming up. I'm saying that because Call of Duty, the yearly Call of Duty, is dropping actually tomorrow. Yeah, that is Black Ops 6. Now, this is a game that is highly anticipated for a lot of different reasons. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's weird because I really haven't played a Call of Duty in, I think, like 11 years now. Yeah, the last one I really bought and was really into was Black Ops 2. And it's weird because things have changed. And now Call of Duty, well, you don't actually have to buy it anymore, similar to a lot of different games these days. It is finally going to be on a subscription-based service. Yeah, it is launching day one on Xbox Game Pass. Now, this is, of course, the direct result of Xbox or Microsoft purchasing Activision. So this is the first Call of Duty to ever launch day one on Game Pass. It's the first Call of Duty ever to go on Game Pass if you don't count last year's Modern Warfare 3, which I think was just really not a good game anyway. So now with the game, as I record this, just a few hours away despite what time zone you're in. Actually, funny enough, I think it is available right now if you are like in New Zealand, or if you do the New Zealand time zone switch, like a trick that I think you can do on console. But for me, since it's just hours away, I'm kind of wondering, I really have been wondering for a while now, how is this actually going to affect Xbox? I mean, after all, their purchase of Activision was not cheap. It was 69 billion. Yeah, billion with a B, US dollars. Now, obviously, I know there is way more to Activision Blizzard than just Call of Duty, but let's be honest, it is their biggest franchise. So finally getting the rights to Activision and finally being able to put your, big flagship game on Game Pass day one. Yeah, now is the time that Xbox is probably looking at, what this is actually doing for them and kind of evaluating things. So I have to wonder now, how is this going to affect Game Pass subscriptions? Well, though we are just hours away, or it's, in its first few hours if you're in like New Zealand or Europe. And though obviously we don't have like new Game Pass numbers, right now by the hour, we actually can get a good idea of how this is going to affect Game Pass subscriptions, thanks to a study that was done by the game journalist website gamesindustry.biz. Yeah, so in this article that they posted today, they talked about how they actually reached out to a lot of different expert analyzers that kind of look at these sorts of things, and they got the actual numbers of, how much the Game Pass subscriptions are supposed to go up just as a direct result of Call of Duty now being on Game Pass. And the result, maybe you saw it in the title of this video, but yeah, the overall result, it is kind of a wide range, but kind of the combined average, the general range that they got from all of the analysts, the overall number is between 2.5 million and 4 million increased subscriptions on Game Pass. I mean, this is very big if you think about it. I mean, right now Game Pass is, obviously it's the biggest it's ever been, and I'm seeing that right now, or at least as of February, that was the last time I guess the statistic was posted, so this was 8 months ago, but yeah, February of this year, it was at 34 million subscribers. So though it might not sound like a lot, just this game alone being on Game Pass day one could increase the subscriptions on Game Pass by over 10%. Yeah, literally just by one game, and that's, considering Game Pass has hundreds of games already. And keep in mind, this is just one Call of Duty. You have to think, if Black Ops 6 does very well critically, if people really like it, well, then the next Call of Duty is also going to bring in some subscribers, and the one after that, and the one after that, etc. It definitely goes to show, a big reason why Xbox decided to purchase Activision. They definitely are going all in on Game Pass. That has been very clear recently. They're definitely not letting up on their subscription-based service, and this is something that's really going to amp things up big time. Now, it's also important to note, though, that this study, when they reached out to these analysts, some did actually also express concern that though these Game Pass subscriptions are going to massively increase, this will also lead to a decrease in actual game sales. I think that was probably to be expected, obviously. If you can play the game on Game Pass, why would you buy it? It looks like one analyst is saying that roughly 25% or a quarter of Xbox Game Pass subscribers would have possibly bought the game anyway had it not have been on Game Pass, so yeah, that's going to be a loss in game sales. But overall, I think Xbox sees this in the long run. Yeah, they want to get people hooked on Xbox Game Pass, You might just be buying it just for Call of Duty, but then you see, oh hey, they got Fallout, they got, whatever else. And then you keep that subscription, you hold on to it. Obviously this is, kind of how a lot of these subscription services work. They make big purchases like this. You know, I'm thinking like Netflix, Amazon Prime, stuff like that. You know, they want to have big shows, big movies on their platforms day one so that people will subscribe. And that kind of just hooks them in, and then they just stay and they keep their subscription. So I'm definitely still hoping Black Ops 6 is going to be great. I really do think it will be. I'm very hyped for it, actually. And it's very clear that Xbox is really banking on it doing well and keeping the new Xbox Game Pass subscribers, well, subscribed to the service in the long run.